I'm Dr. Heather Stanley Christian. I live in Claremont, Florida. I'm an obstetrician by training. I ended up figuring out that something needed to be added that was more. I didn't have a sense of what that was. But in talking with one particular patient, and she mentioned intuitive life coaching. And so I did a little bit of research. And when I Googled, Katya came up. And our clarity call was very revealing for me. And it was just a certain knowing that that was the next step to take. So here I am. I graduated. Personally, I have been able to give myself permission about the things that I've known internally but hidden because of societal pressures. You know, being in service doesn't mean at the expense of dimming my light. So I learned to be comfortable with that. I've also learned to be quiet in the face of uncertainty and to trust my instincts more. So I gained a lot personally from that. Professionally, ILCAT gave me the vocabulary, the tools, the skills to go into deeper listening with my patients, because there was a space where consultation ends and coaching, I now know that coaching begins. And I was in that space for my patients where I didn't feel like I felt like I needed to learn more about that space, and ILCAT filled that space for me. So, and I think my patients, I hope they benefit from it. I feel like they are. More confident because I always had, even as a child, a natural tendency to ask hard questions, but the packaging of the questions are a little softer and more open-ended and encourage better feedback, I would say. So I feel more confident in that respect. I still like to ask the hard questions, but now I know how to do a better job of it. Very strong, very honest, diplomatic. See, Katya and I speak the same, honest, we say a thing and we really, the authenticity behind it is not in question. So I think that was the thing that drew me to Katya a lot, because I appreciate that raw authenticity. You know where you stand. You don't leave a session or a situation in ambiguity. You just don't. No ambiguous statements. Her staff is very nurturing. Asia, Emily, Kimberly, started off with Max. Great support. And they push you. They push you. It's like they have a knowledge of just how to push you and when to push you. Very, and I like that style. I'm not an easy person to part with my money for stuff, but this was money well spent on a whole bunch of different levels. I would say if you feel like it's a calling, but you can't rationalize or justify it, and you're a person who tends to learn from not listening to your inner voice, listen to your inner voice and do what feels right for you. I think coaching is not for everybody. So I think one has to really know what one wants. But this style of coaching, I think, speaks to a lot of clients, potential clients, rather than the traditional cookie cutter coaching, because it merges the spiritual, which is there. It helps with the purpose. I never once felt like I was just biding time. You get something from the time you invest in it. So I would say, know what you're looking for, know what you're seeking, And, if your inner voice says yes, but the external world is rationalizing otherwise, listen to your inner voice and make the jump. You're going to learn a lot about yourself. If you thought you knew yourself, you're going to be maybe pleasantly surprised, maybe not, but you're going to learn a lot about yourself, and that in turn will make you necessarily a better coach, because you're going to come with insight, you're going to come with perspective, and you're going to come with a certain amount of empathy so that you can see from the other side. Whereas if that wasn't your forte before, by the end of the course, you'll develop some kind of forte around that. I don't know that I had one big aha moment. I would say the mindset, the shift in the mindset, and the journey from, and not anxiety, but discomfort with uncertainty and chaos and questioning myself, to listening to my inner voice, being certain with myself, and trusting myself more. There are so many layers of changes that has been going on in my world since 2018, 2019, some of which I made moves and didn't quite understand why I made it. I knew I had to make it, but I just didn't know why. And now looking back, I'm like, yeah, if something comes up to me, I need to trust the voice and go with it, with some kind of wisdom behind it. So it's still a work in progress for me. I'm not even sure what next year will look. But I do know that with directed patience, I'm now looking forward to the next year, despite whatever is going on, rather than, oh my gosh, being nervous and anxious about what next year might look like fiscally or personally or whatever. So yeah, we're all worthy, and I am worthy, and I deserve what I want. I always felt service meant servitude, but service doesn't necessarily equal servitude. And, if I decide on a thing that I'm worthy of a thing, then I am worthy of that thing. And I should not have any shame or selfishness, the feeling of selfishness, because this is something I want. I work damn hard. I deserve it. I'm worthy of it. End of story. I mean, it was a great 8 months. It was a revealing 8 months. And I look forward to what the next 8 months will be on my own as I do the work. Thank you, Ilke. Thank you, Katya. Thank you, everybody.